There is someone in your life who cannot take their eyes off the person you are becoming. They are watching you evolve, witnessing a transformation so profound that it leaves them both mesmerized and shaken. You have stepped into an entirely new chapter of your existence, and you carry yourself now with a quiet strength that needs no announcement, no validation, no external confirmation. This confidence you possess does not scream for attention or demand recognition. Instead, it naturally, effortlessly commands respect and admiration from everyone who encounters your energy. They can sense something fundamental has shifted within you. You have discovered a sense of inner peace, a deep stability and groundedness that exists completely independent of their influence, their opinions, their presence, or their absence. This peace you have found is entirely your own creation, built from the inside out, and it radiates from you like light from a flame that cannot be extinguished. Where once you might have been tethered to their moods, waiting anxiously for their approval, adapting yourself to match their energy, and measuring your worth by their actions and reactions, you now stand firmly planted in your own truth. You have found solid ground beneath your feet, and that ground is made of your own values, your own knowing, and your own unshakable sense of self. This shift within you is not subtle or barely noticeable. It is dramatic, powerful, and unmistakable. It radiates outward from your core, touching everything and everyone around you. This is the kind of authentic growth that speaks far louder than any words ever could, and it is absolutely impossible for them to ignore or dismiss. The realization that you are genuinely content without them, that your happiness is no longer dependent on their presence or their love, is striking a chord deep within their soul. What once might have been brushed off as temporary distance, as a phase you were going through, as something that would eventually pass, now feels frighteningly permanent. And that thought alone is shaking them to their very core, rattling the foundations of everything they thought they understood about your connection. This is not just a momentary change in attitude or a temporary shift in your behavior. This is a genuine turning point, a before and after moment in your life story. The peace you carry within yourself now stands in stark, undeniable contrast to the inner chaos and turmoil they are currently experiencing. That comparison is forcing them to look at themselves with uncomfortable clarity, to see their own reflection with brutal honesty, and to confront truths they have been avoiding for far too long. They are beginning to fully comprehend, perhaps for the first time in their life, the true cost of their ego, the devastating consequences of the games they played, and the damage caused by the manipulation they used to maintain control over the connection you shared. That cost, they now realize with devastating clarity, was you. They gambled with something precious and irreplaceable, and they lost. Now they are living with the crushing weight of having lost something they can never get back, something they will never find again in quite the same way. There is a lingering sadness that seems to follow them everywhere they go, like a shadow they cannot outrun. It is a heaviness that settles into their chest, that weighs down their shoulders, that colors every moment of every day. This is more than just missing you in the simple, surface-level way one might miss an old friend. This is the deep, soul-level ache of knowing they played a direct and undeniable role in their own loss. They pushed you away with their own hands. They destroyed something beautiful with their own choices. Regret sits heavy in their chest, growing heavier and more suffocating with each passing day. Justice, in a poetic and undeniable way that feels almost cosmic, has swung decidedly in your favor. The balance has shifted dramatically, the scales have tipped, and they can feel it in every fiber of their being. You are thriving, even glowing with vitality and joy, while they are stuck in a restless, uncomfortable state of mind that gives them no peace, no rest, no escape. Since the moment they walked away from this connection, since they made the choice to let you go, they have found absolutely no mental peace, no steady ground to stand on, no sense of equilibrium or balance. Every distraction they pursue feels hollow and meaningless. Every attempt to move forward feels half-hearted and insincere. No matter where they go, no matter who they surround themselves with, no matter how hard they try to forget or move on, a piece of them remains chained to what they abandoned. That chain pulls at them constantly, reminding them of what they had and what they threw away. They see you now as the embodiment of the Empress energy, someone who is abundant in spirit, magnetic in presence, nurturing in nature, and completely self-assured in their own power. You carry yourself with a grace and confidence that turns heads, that draws people toward you like moths to a flame. This is not the kind of presence that can be easily replaced or replicated, and they know it with a certainty that terrifies them. You are a person of genuine value, of rare quality, and the world around you sees it too. People are noticing. Opportunities are appearing. Admirers are gathering. This reality terrifies them on a primal level because they understand, perhaps for the first time in their entire life, that others are noticing and appreciating what they once took for granted. There are many people out there who would love to be your person, who would cherish the very qualities and characteristics they overlooked, who would treasure what they treated carelessly. The thought of someone else recognizing your worth, someone else making you smile, someone else becoming the recipient of your love and attention, fills them with a panic they cannot control. And unlike before, unlike in the past when you might have waited for them, when you might have put your life on hold hoping they would finally see your value, you are not waiting for them to catch up anymore. You are moving forward with purpose and intention, attracting people and opportunities that match your new vibration, that align with who you have become. You are no longer operating at their frequency. You have elevated yourself to a higher plane of existence. This awareness is fueling a quiet but intense panic within them. On the surface, when others see them, they may try to appear composed, put together, unbothered. But inside, beneath that carefully constructed facade, they are spiraling. Their mind races constantly. Their heart pounds with anxiety. They cannot find peace or stillness anywhere within themselves. They are starting to feel the full force of their past actions crashing down upon them like waves. The sharp words said in anger, the moments they chose to speak when silence would have been kinder. The cold silences, the times they withheld affection and warmth as punishment or as a power play. The decisions made out of pride rather than love, the moments they let their ego dictate their choices instead of listening to their heart. All the moments they thought they were in control, when they believed they held all the power in the relationship, are now replaying in their mind on an endless loop, but not as victories or as proof of their strength. Instead, they replay as mistakes, as regrets, as evidence of their immaturity and their inability to recognize what was right in front of them. They are confronting the uncomfortable, painful truth that their behavior was never actually strength at all. It was fear masquerading as power. It was immaturity disguised as independence. It was an inability to truly value, appreciate, and cherish what was directly in front of them, freely offered, waiting to be claimed. This internal reckoning they are experiencing is not gentle or easy. It is creating a violent storm of conflict inside them, an ongoing battle between their desperate desire to reach out and repair the damage, and their paralyzing fear of rejection, of being told it is too late, of discovering that you have truly moved on. Part of them wants desperately, urgently to fix things, to close the distance between you, to erase the mistakes of the past and start fresh. But another part, a darker, more fearful part, knows deep down that they may have already gone too far, that they may have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed, that the damage they caused may be beyond repair. The thought that they could be permanently replaced, not just in your daily life but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, is gnawing at them relentlessly. It is a thought that wakes them in the middle of the night, that distracts them during the day, that haunts them in quiet moments. They imagine you with someone else, someone who treats you the way they should have, someone who recognizes your value from day one, and the image is almost unbearable. They are seeing you through completely new eyes now, with a clarity and understanding they never possessed before. And that clarity is both a precious gift and a terrible curse. It is a gift because they finally understand what they had, what you offered, what you were willing to give. But it is a curse because that understanding came too late, after the damage was already done, after you had already walked away. Meanwhile, on your side of this story, you are no longer operating from a place of needing their validation or approval. You are no longer measuring your worth by whether or not they choose you. You have rebuilt yourself from the ground up in a way that is not just about surviving what happened between you, but about genuinely thriving because of it. You took the pain, the disappointment, the heartbreak, and you transformed it into fuel for your growth. You used it as raw material to construct a better, stronger, more authentic version of yourself. The peace you carry now is not born from bitterness, resentment, or the desire for revenge. It is born from release, from letting go, from accepting what was and making peace with it. You are no longer tethered to their actions, their moods, their choices, or their approval. Your energy is focused entirely on your own growth, your own joy, your own healing, and the beautiful life you are actively creating for yourself. And that transformation, more than anything else, more than any words you could say or actions you could take, is what truly unsettles them. It is not just the fear of losing you in the future. It is the devastating knowledge that they already have lost you. The person you were, the person who waited for them, who hoped they would change, who made excuses for their behavior, that person no longer exists. You have evolved beyond that version of yourself, and there is no going back. Every time I feel like you and I are finally making real progress, as though we are genuinely moving forward together and leaving the painful past behind us where it belongs, something unexpected and challenging happens. Out of nowhere, seemingly without warning, a tougher moment comes crashing into my life like a wave, pulling me back into that heavy, exhausting energy of conflict, trauma, and struggle. It feels as though I am caught in a never-ending storm, one that refuses to let me rest, that gives me no opportunity to catch my breath before the next challenge arrives. I am so tired. Tired in my body, which feels the physical weight of constant stress. Tired in my mind, which never seems to stop racing, analyzing, worrying. And especially tired in my heart, which has been broken and repaired so many times that I wonder if the cracks will ever fully heal. This painful cycle keeps breaking me from the inside, piece by piece, fragment by fragment. And sometimes, in my darkest moments, I wonder how much more I can possibly take before I shatter completely. What hurts me even more than my own suffering is the thought that because of my struggles, my circumstances, my challenges, you have suffered too. I can see the weight you have carried because of me, the burden my presence has placed on your shoulders. And it makes me feel a deep, profound ache I cannot fully put into words, a guilt that sits heavy in my chest. I do not want to live like this anymore. I do not want us to keep being pulled apart by circumstances beyond our control, by forces we cannot fight, by timing that seems to work against us at every turn. More than anything in this world, I want to end this constant battle and simply be with you. Not someday, not eventually, but now. I want to be with you without fear clouding every moment, without obstacles blocking our path, without the pain that seems to keep finding us no matter how hard we try to escape it. My heart longs for that day in a way that is almost unbearable, in a way that sometimes brings me to tears when I am alone. I imagine it over and over again, playing the scenes in my mind like a movie I desperately want to live inside. A life where we are side by side, partners in every sense of the word. Waking up next to each other as sunlight streams through the windows. Sharing the quiet, peaceful moments of morning coffee and comfortable silence. Sharing the loud, joyful moments of laughter and celebration. The easy days when everything flows smoothly. And the difficult ones, the challenging days when life tests us, but we face them together, united, stronger because we have each other. I never intended to leave you in the middle of our journey. That was never part of my plan, never something I wanted. You matter so much to me, more than I have probably ever been able to adequately express with my limited words. Even when we were apart, even when physical distance separated us, even when life seemed to be actively pushing us in opposite directions, I have carried you with me. You have been in my thoughts during the day and in my dreams at night. You have been in my heart, taking up permanent residence there. And you have been in the very way I see the world, coloring my perspective, influencing my choices, shaping who I am becoming. I already consider you an inseparable part of my life, woven into the fabric of my existence. Unfortunately, the reality we faced was not kind to us. Circumstances, ones that neither of us could fully control or prevent, stood firmly in our way, creating barriers we could not overcome, forcing us apart when all I wanted was to hold on tighter, to refuse to let go. But despite everything we have been through, despite all the pain and separation and struggle, I want you to know something with absolute clarity. I will never break the promises I made to you. Those were not casual words spoken in a moment of passion and then forgotten. They were not empty reassurances meant to make you feel better temporarily. They were fundamental truths I spoke directly from my heart, and I intend to live by them every single day for the rest of my life. I still believe, with unwavering faith, that we will be together. It might take more time than either of us would prefer. It might require patience that tests us to our limits and faith in a process that neither of us can fully see or understand right now. But I am asking you, I am begging you from the depths of my soul, to trust it. Trust the process. Trust me. Trust us. Trust what we have built together, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. The thought of losing you for a lifetime is something I genuinely cannot bear to contemplate. It is not just the idea of losing your physical presence, though that alone would be devastating. It is the loss of everything you bring into my life. The laughter we share that makes my stomach hurt and tears stream down my face. The comfort of your voice, which calms me even in my most anxious moments. The way my entire world feels lighter, brighter, more manageable when you are near. It is the loss of the future I have imagined with you, the dreams we have whispered to each other late at night when no one else was listening, when it felt like we were the only two people in the entire universe. That kind of loss is one I could never truly recover from, one that would leave a permanent hole in my soul. I might have never told you this before in such direct, vulnerable words, but it is the absolute truth, the most honest thing I have ever said. I have never loved anyone the way I love you. My love for you is not just about passion, though that certainly exists in abundance. It is not just about romance, though I feel that deeply every time I think of you. It is also about genuine connection, the kind that goes beyond surface attraction. It is about respect for who you are as a human being. It is about admiration for your strength, your kindness, your unique perspective on life. And it is about a deep understanding that I have never experienced with anyone else, not even close. You see me in ways that others never have and probably never will. You see past the masks I wear for the world, past the defenses I have built to protect myself. You see the real me, the vulnerable me, the me I rarely show anyone. And you have been my safe place in a dangerous world, my anchor when storms threaten to sweep me away, my constant reminder that love can still exist and even flourish in the middle of absolute chaos. When I think back on all the moments we have shared together, both the beautiful memories that make me smile and the difficult ones that taught us hard lessons, I realize how much we have already endured together. We have faced storms that would have torn other couples apart without question. We have walked through fire and somehow still found ways to laugh, to find joy, to hold on to hope. Yes, we have stumbled along the way. And yes, there were times when it felt like the distance between us, both physical and emotional, was too great to bridge. But somehow, against all odds, we are still here. We are still connected. We are still in each other's lives. I think that means something profound. I think it means our bond is stronger, more resilient, more durable than we sometimes realize when we are caught up in the day-to-day struggles. I will not pretend that the road ahead will be perfectly smooth or easy. Life has a way of testing people, of making them prove how much they truly want something or someone. And maybe that is exactly what this challenging period is. Maybe all of these obstacles, all of these trials and struggles, are not here to break us apart, but to prepare us for the life we will have once we are finally together without anything standing in our way. I know that is not an easy perspective to hold on to when the days feel unbearably heavy and hope seems far away, like a distant star you can barely see. But I am holding on to that belief for both of us, carrying it like a torch through the darkness. I want you to picture that day with me. Close your eyes and see it clearly. The day when we do not have to say goodbye anymore. When there's no more wondering when we will see each other again. No more counting the days or weeks or months apart. No more scheduling visits around complicated calendars. Just us, sharing the same space, breathing the same air, building the life we have both dreamed of. I want that more than I have ever wanted anything in my entire life. And I believe with every part of me, with every cell in my body, that we will get there. Until that day finally comes, I promise to keep loving you exactly the way I always have, fully, fiercely, and without hesitation or reservation.